Today's report uncovers a dramatic and precision-engineered operation that unfolded in Crimea, an operation that took just 75 seconds to execute, but delivered a strategic shockwave across Russia's most prized drone infrastructure. Ukraine, using a remarkably low-cost weapon system valued at only $70,000, successfully destroyed a $250 million Russian drone command hub buried deep inside occupied territory. The strike, now being hailed as one of the most cost-effective and tactically brilliant attacks of the entire war, exposes not only Russia's structural vulnerabilities, but also the ingenuity behind Ukraine's emerging long-range strike doctrine. In today's video, we go deep into how this operation unfolded, why the target mattered, and what this means for the next phase of the war as Ukraine continues expanding its ability to strike inside Crimea. The attack didn't just destroy hardware, it dismantled an entire strategy Russia was depending on to control airspace in southern Ukraine. The operation began shortly after midnight, when Ukrainian reconnaissance identified that Russia's new drone command CENT, recently relocated to northern Crimea for protection, had begun routine operations for the night shift. This facility was responsible for processing, guiding, and coordinating dozens of Russia's long-range surveillance and attack drones, including Orlan-10s and advanced reconnaissance units used to monitor Ukrainian troop movement, artillery positions, and defensive lines. It was a deeply fortified facility, estimated at around $250 million in total construction, equipment, and drone control systems. Russia believed the location was secure, positioned far from the front, surrounded by air defense cells, and operating behind layers of electronic warfare barriers. But what Russia didn't anticipate was that Ukraine had quietly developed and positioned a long-range, low-signature drone capable of bypassing most radar detection. This drone, which cost approximately $70,000 to manufacture, was equipped with a compact high-yield warhead and a flight control system designed to navigate using terrain-following algorithms rather than radio communications, making it extremely difficult for Russian electronic warfare systems to jam or redirect. According to Ukrainian defense sources, the drone launched from a concealed site well north of Kherson and then flew low along the Dnipro River, masking its signature against ground clutter. By the time Russian radars detected an anomaly, the drone was already entering Crimean airspace at high speed, skimming close to structures and tree lines in a pattern specifically designed to bypass automated defense interceptors. And then came the final 75 seconds, the window in which everything changed. As the drone approached the Russian drone hub, it executed a programmed vertical climb maneuver to gain a clear attack vector on the command building. Analysts believe the facility was struck at precisely the point where Russia stored its digital command relays, fiber optic lines, and encryption modules. The explosion was so concentrated and expertly delivered that it didn't just destroy the building. It severed Russia's drone network links across multiple sectors in southern Ukraine. Russian operators reportedly lost contact with ongoing drone missions instantly, leaving several reconnaissance flights unable to return or transmit data. Satellite imagery later confirmed that the facility was almost completely leveled. Thermal scans showed secondary explosions triggered by stored fuel cells, drone batteries, and communication relays. What shocked Russian commanders was not simply the destruction of a costly intelligence center, but how effortlessly a low-cost Ukrainian drone had penetrated layers of expensive defenses. Russia had deployed Pantsir-S-1 systems, Tor M2 launchers, and 2 radio-electronic warfare stations, all of which failed to intercept the incoming strike. Ukrainian analysts quickly highlighted the symbolism. $70,000 neutralized a $250 million asset. Western observers called the attack a textbook example of modern asymmetric warfare, where affordability and innovation surpass raw firepower. And indeed, the strike has already influenced NATO's assessment of Ukraine's evolving long-range drone program, which has grown dramatically over the past year. The hit on the Crimea drone hub matters for several reasons. First, it cripples Russia's surveillance advantage across Zaporizhia and Kherson, two sectors where Moscow previously relied heavily on real-time drone intel to track Ukrainian artillery. Second, it forces Russia to reconsider the safety of all rear area infrastructure in Crimea, an area it once viewed as untouchable. And third, it sends a strategic message: Ukraine can strike anywhere, at any time, with minimal cost. Let's talk about how Ukraine engineered this capability. Analysts say Ukraine's drone program has evolved beyond one-way attack drones into a realm of semi-autonomous precision systems that require almost no human guidance once launched. The drone used in this operation reportedly employed passive guidance sensors to navigate through electromagnetic noise, meaning even powerful Russian jamming systems could not detect or disrupt it. Engineers intentionally minimized radio emissions, so the craft appeared almost invisible to Russian warning networks. Another key factor was Ukraine's use of rapid launch platforms, mobile trucks converted into drone catapults that can fire these long-range systems with only a few minutes of preparation. This gives Ukraine the ability to move quickly, strike unexpectedly, and avoid counter-battery responses. Russia had been accustomed to the slower, less maneuverable drone operations of early 2022. Now it faces a Ukrainian drone fleet that is faster, smarter, larger, and significantly cheaper to replace. In the aftermath of the strike, Russian military bloggers were furious. Many questioned how air defenses in Crimea could have failed so catastrophically. Others demanded an investigation into whether Ukrainian agents had infiltrated the area to map radar coverage and identify blind spots. Some even accused Russian commanders of negligence for clustering crucial drone infrastructure in one location, making the explosion far more devastating. Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials celebrated the strike as proof that ingenuity, not budget size, decides victory in modern warfare. They noted that Russia spends billions on layered air defense systems, yet a single budget-friendly drone managed to expose their vulnerabilities. Western defense observers pointed out that such asymmetric attacks, especially those targeting command nodes, can have a much greater strategic impact than conventional artillery strikes. Disrupting Russia's drone operations for even a few days provides Ukraine with breathing room on the front lines, allowing repositioning, logistical movement, and the establishment of new defensive zones. The strike also intensified internal pressure within Crimea. The local population, already rattled by frequent explosions and power outages caused by Ukrainian attacks, reacted with panic and confusion. Traffic jams formed as civilians tried to flee certain districts. Russian authorities attempted to calm the situation, but eyewitness accounts suggest that smoke clouds and emergency vehicles created widespread alarm. Satellite intelligence later showed that Russia rushed reinforcements to the site, trying to salvage whatever equipment remained, but experts say the damage is likely permanent. Drone command centers require highly specialized electronics, and many of the destroyed components are nearly impossible to replace quickly due to international sanctions. Just hours after the strike, Russian state media attempted to downplay the incident, claiming minimal damage. But leaked images told the real story: collapsed walls, burnt communication racks, shattered drone guidance consoles, and debris scattered across the compound. By morning, independent analysts confirmed the facility had been completely taken offline. Ukraine's symbolic victory also carried logistical significance. Destroying Russia's drone hub reduces the number of coordination points feeding data to artillery units fighting in southern Ukraine. This means Russian artillery will have less accuracy in the coming weeks. Though Russia still operates many drone units, every disruption creates windows of opportunity for Ukrainian counterattacks. And while the world discusses the cost ratio, $70,000 defeating a $250 million installation, the deeper message is this: technology is reshaping battlefield power. Ukraine no longer needs expensive missiles to hit distant targets. With drones costing a fraction of the price of traditional weapons, it can launch repeated strikes with minimal risk and massive strategic payoff. In closing, this $70 5. Second strike on Russia's Crimea drone hub marks a turning point in Ukraine's long-range warfare strategy. It proves that creativity, mobility, and technical innovation can overcome even the most heavily defended structures. As both sides continue adapting, one thing is certain: the war's technological race is accelerating faster than ever. Ukraine's latest success shows just how powerful cost-effective precision systems can be, and Russia now knows that nowhere in Crimea is fully safe. This is Military Matrix, bringing you frontline intelligence, strategic insights, and the stories shaping the battlefield.